Hey guys, back here with Thade. So, we watched a movie that I originally was not going to watch because, I thought. Hold on, you can see the little. Here we go. So, I originally was not going to watch this because I wanted to save money on movies that I actually wanted to watch. But I couldn't stop seeing all the Twitter appreciation for this film. And I thought, okay, you know what? I gotta go see this. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish it's so perfect. It's so perfect. It does so much right.
Yeah, it's legitimately a perfect film. It has amazing animation, an amazing story, just so much care put into it. It's kind of a shock how good this movie actually is. I was just we were just hearing all the hype and stuff, and it's legit.
Yeah. What do you think we should talk about first?
We could talk about the themes of the movie or the animation, or what would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about the theme first, death and all. The way this theme is handled is just so good. It doesn't feel like I'm glad they didn't decide to dumb down this message and all. They took their time to make this message so clear and so good.
Yeah, and so many different messages were portrayed in the movie, like the fear of death, kind of dealing with your mortality, how you're going to live your life, and even just finding love in the face of death itself, and finally not fearing it anymore, and kind of accepting that you're going to live your life. There was so many profound themes that were illustrated in the movie. It was really one of the most thought-provoking films I've had in a long time, and it was a Shrek spinoff with Puss in Boots. I was kind of shocked. The actual themes conveyed in this film were conveyed so well that anybody of all ages can understand. It's an amazing way to convey a story.
Yeah. And this is also the first time we see Puss in a different kind, we see a new side of him that we haven't seen, and that's his traumatized side. We'll get to him shortly. We'll get to him shortly, but throughout certain parts of the movie, you see that he gets PTSD of this, and it feels so effective. You really get the sense that he's terrified of him. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, it's time. It's time. Before we get to the rest, we gotta talk about the villain. Holy fuck, he is just the best DreamWorks villain ever. He's just whenever you hear that whistle, you just get goosebumps. I know we got goosebumps whenever. Yeah. It's just
he legitimately was thrilling whenever he would show up. It was oh my, anytime he was showing up, it was crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know what else to say. He's just so fantastic.
Yeah, and literally Death himself shows up, and it's personified so perfectly within the villain. And it's just played, it conveys with the theme. It's just great. And there's a lot of great characters in this film, too. Nobody's a token, just one-off character or whatever. Everybody plays a part and kind of learns as the film goes on. There's really a great just character work in this film as well.
Yeah. Everyone has a purpose. And I think that's really good and kind of refreshing from some animated films where some characters are just kind of nothing or kind of filler. Now on to the next thing. The animation. The animation for this is so different from any other DreamWorks movie or any type of animated film we've ever seen. This one decides to go for a bit more of a Spider-Verse kind of direction.
Yeah.
And oh man, in that opening scene and that climax, any of the action scenes, the animation just it goes so hard.
Yeah, it wows you. It's great. And it seems very upon looking at it, it looks handcrafted. Somebody really put effort into this and made it just look beautiful. The animation is pristine in the movie.
Yeah, it's just, and it kind of feels like this was almost like a 2D movie, even though it technically isn't, but
yeah, it kind of incorporates elements of 2D type animation into 3D and all different kinds of stuff. There's realistic stuff, more 2D type stuff. Like there's a ton of different genres of animation in there, and it just all works to perfection in the movie.
Yeah, like, well, some of my favorite bits of animation throughout the movie is when Puss is trying to get to the tree monster guy, and you see that epic shot of him just running on like the roof trying to get to him, and then during the climax when we are in the POV of like the wish paper, and it just, you see all of the characters just trying to get it.
Yeah, and it's like a long one single take shot, and it just looks perfect. There's so much creativity. It's like crazy.
Yeah, the cast obviously is just amazing. Antonio Banderas just knocks it out of the park as Puss, as well as Florence Pugh. I hope I'm saying her name right, as Goldilocks. Which, funnily enough, there are some things that Thade told me like that I never knew, but then there was one thing that he didn't catch on that I kind of caught on.
Yeah, I was about like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like I didn't even realize that was like what it was showing for like half the entire film until they just opened up the book. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I remember like just reading that story so much in like say
like grade school or
yeah, back in Eugene Ware.
Yeah. Probably should have caught on to that, but they were amazing in the film too.
Yeah. And like also Olivia Colman, and I didn't know, I couldn't catch on any of the other voices, but like props to anyone who any voice actor, any animator who worked on this. You guys are just you guys just
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, so what we learned is that this movie fucks. It like that. There's no question. It's just, and even though we like just came out of seeing this, I'd say this is in my top 3 favorites of 2022. So, this one, The Banshees of Inisherin, and The Northmen. Where do you think this one goes on your spot?
I'd say it goes to probably either number 2 or number 3 on my list. It was like technically we watched it this year or whatever, but I didn't realize like it came out last year. So still in 2022, this was definitely one of my favorite films. And I think this is a film I'll actually go back and rewatch. Like I haven't rewatched a lot of films I've saw in theaters, but this is one that I like really liked. So it's really, I think it's like special to me after watching it.
It recently came out on digital.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because of in 2021 Universal announced their theatrical window where like after 17 days or so it would go to video on demand. So you could just be able to watch some YouTube clips or just go see like people's takes of it on Twitter praising it. Yeah. So like, oh, and it's also the first time in a long time a movie just makes me go, hold on a second, yes. Ugh.
Yeah, it's legitimately exciting.
This is what Puss in Boots: The Last Wish does to someone. It just that's what it does to me.
It lights out. Yeah, but overall though, I mean, it was a perfect film, pun intended.
Yeah. So, 10 out of 10. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, signing off.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the review.